What's up, everybody? We're in the building. It's a fantastic episode of Chat and Draw, hosted by me. Now, just to answer some of your questions here, I'm Mike Watson, the publisher of Short Fuse Media Group, the founder of Freestyle Comics, one fourth of the agents of the nerdy, the most enthusiastic person in comics, and the president of the My Hero Academia fan club. Oh God, I caught up today, baby. Oh, please, please tell me there's somebody I can talk to about the manga. Issue 307 came out today. Oh my goodness, My Hero Academia is life. All right. If you look, this is what I'm gonna say to you. This is what I'm gonna say to you. If you are fed up with mainstream comic books, if you're just like at a dead end, you're not finding any life in it, you're not finding any energy, you're tired of some of the stories that are going on, or you just want something else to read on top of your mainstream fix, go to indie comics. We got tons of stuff over there. But if you're still looking for more, you still got room to read, go over to this My Hero Academia, baby. I tell you, it is the constant reading material that gets me back into my book, that gets me back to creating and putting all those so sweet heroic dreams in my head. Oh, just like Invincible, which premiered this week, baby, 3 episodes. I am going crazy with the geekdom right now. Are you kidding me right now? Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 2 to die for. And we got Kong versus Godzilla this week. Yes. All right, my fandom's over. What's up, Daniel? I'm good now. I got that out of my system, y'all. I got that out of my system. Look, I literally got through reading My Hero Academia today, and I went and grabbed my pullover. All right, I had to put it on. I have on my Hero Academia pajama pants, and I'm telling you, read it. It's great. It's great. It's great. It's great. It's great. Okay, I'm all done with that. So, books are at printer. We had a little snafu. Pages that I uploaded, all my pages got uploaded, but because of how long it took for the pages to upload, the printer wasn't able to snag all of them. They thought they grabbed all of them, thought it was done, but it was still uploaded. So we got that rectified today, and they're getting laid out again with all the pages in them now. Which the printer's really good because he caught the mistake. Like, oh wait, these aren't all the pages. Where are all the pages at? And we were able to get all the pages to him, so because they were up there still or whatnot. And so he's going to relay out the book and make sure everything is lined up, and then get me back on the phone for approval to say yes, this is good to go and print. All the posters and stuff have been printed and all that whatnot. I've ordered all of my shipping supplies. Yeah, I've ordered all my shipping supplies. Yeah, we're about to start packaging this bad boy up. This Chat and Draw art book season 1, 2, and 3, and getting out to y'all. Then we're gonna start working on the season 4. Then we're going into Hot Shot Trade Volume 1. Then we're going into EverQuest number 1. Then we're going into Hot Shot Trade Volume 2. Then we're going to Hot Shot 10, Vigilance, and beyond. Dude, I'm hyped. I'm sorry. I'm hyped. I told you I'm the most enthusiastic person in comics. I had to get it out of my system. But that's where we're at. So make sure you check your inbox on Kickstarter. All the digital rewards have been sent off and whatnot. And very soon, very shortly, we will be sending off the physical rewards. So that's all fine and dandy. Look, all right, we got new episode here. We're about to hit you with that heat. We're about to bring it into a first timer here on the show. Matter of fact, let's bring them out in the new Chat and Draw fashion.
Wait a second. A new opponent has interrupted the tournament.
What's up, Alex? How you doing, man? Oh, I think he froze up. Is he frozen? Let me check my other windows. Hold on. I don't know if he's frozen or if I'm frozen. Of course, there's a delay. What's up, Alex? How you doing? Yes, Alex is frozen. Alex, if you can hear me, log out and jump back in, man. Let me see here. What's that ringing? That's the doorbell. Oh, wait, there's a buzzing? Why is there feedback? Let's see here. Let me check audio. Hello, hello. Test, 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 test. Oh, got Echo Constellation on. All right, here I'm trying to check it out. Here I just switched up something. Is the feedback still there? Let's see here. Uh, Crap in the hat. There we go. Let me see here. Um, that's fine. Oh, okay. How about now? Oh, Brad said he doesn't hear any buzzing. Alex, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry. It might have been on my end. My internet's been acting funny all day. Sorry. Don't mean to
No,
cause
you're
any
fine, man.
delays.
Oh man, you're fine. Technical difficulties happen all the time, and we've been having issues too because I'm in the middle of using StreamYard and Streamlabs, so the audio setup is different for each for my streaming service because I use StreamYard for chat and draw, and I use Streamlabs for my other show, Agents of Nerdy. So sometimes things get misconfigured. So no,
Yeah, I
you're
can
okay,
understand
man.
that.
And my IT backstage person has been trying to teach me how to do this, but my old ass, there's so much stuff to it, I don't keep up.
I
But
understand that.
Alex,
I understand that.
welcome to the show, man. Tell us about yourself and what you brought to for us to draw today.
Well, my name is Alex Dawe. I am the founder of NRG Comics. Well, the campaign we got going right now is Zener, Master of the Mind. It's a comic, indie comic, about a psychic, morally upbeat Superman character who deals with a lot of Batman related dark shit. And he's not all right in the head. He has immense psychic powers, but trauma in his life has caused his brain to kind of be a little wonky. So he's in a way he's his own worst enemy. But he tries to be a good superhero and tries to do world. And the story that we got presenting to people is his origins from the minute he gets his powers to when he puts on his costume. So it's like a condensed version of Smallville. So the character we brought for your audience to draw today is Zener himself.
Okay, all right. Let me see here. You're saying we got a big echo here. That's not on. Built-in outputs. Let me see. That's should be done. You know what? She is going to kill me. I'm sorry, y'all. You guys hear feedback and an echo. Mm. Okay. It is 8:17. Hmm. I don't want to use that device. I don't want to play that. Let me see here. Hold on.
Take your time.
I hear the ringing. I don't hear the echo, but I hear the ringing. Let me see here. Hold on.
Take your time.
I hear the ringing. There's that. I don't hear the echo, but I hear the ringing. Hold on.
Take your time.
I don't hear the echo, but I hear the ringing. How does it sound now?
Um, well, it sounds loud.
It sounds loud.
Yeah.
Is there still a ringing?
No. I don't hear an echo anymore. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Brad, Daniel, is there a ringing or an echo still? Ringing's gone and we're sounding good now. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm gonna have Tessa write me down notes for that because I always forget and mess it up when we switch back over.
It's fine. Born
All
safety
right.
tip now.
Awesome. All right, man. So sorry about that. Go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Okay, so Zener is a character who's a morally upbeat Superman type character with immense psychic powers, and he unfortunately he's not all right in the head. He suffers from anxiety, depression, and a little bit of insanity, and he tries to do good with his powers, and this is a result of trauma he experienced at a young age, and like he's trying to do good with his powers. He's trying to help others, but in a lot of ways, he's his own worst enemy. And he's caught in the middle of all these powerful people who either want to destroy him or use him, but he's just trying to do good. But the problem is he's dealing with a lot of dark related problems that someone like Batman would, and you see how this in the comic it takes an effect on someone like him, like mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And so yeah, that's funny. It's funny on Indiegogo right now, and Zener is the character I brought for you to draw for your fans.
Awesome. So, do you have when's the first issue out? Do we have a Kickstarter going for this one?
Yeah, I have an Indiegogo funding right now.
Oh man, hold up. Did you send me that link?
I can bring it. I can send it to you right now. Hold on.
Yeah, put it in the private chat so I can share it.
Yeah, sorry. I guess I forgot to send that.
Oh no, you're fine, man.
Here it is.
Got it. All right, guys. So we got this going on. This is our first Indiegogo campaign on Chat and Draw.
I feel honored. Be the first. I mean, that gives me a bit. Honestly, that gives me a bit of smug satisfaction.
All right, so the link has just been posted, guys and gals. Go ahead and check out, pull up another window and check that out. See if you guys got it in you to pledge, make a donation to that Indiegogo happening right now. Our first ever Indiegogo campaign on the Chat and Draw show. All right. Let's see here. All right. Let me see. Edit. Do I still have it? Yes, I do. So we'll put this one on top. All right, so we're going to share our screen here. All right, so tell us more about this character, or what you feel comfortable telling us without any spoilers happening here. Well, tell us about the process of creating this character. Like, what's that story? How did that happen? How did we go about that?
First of all, I like the post that you're putting in. I just want to get that out there. So I think that's really in tune with his character. So I like that.
No problem.
So the origins for Zener date back to my college days, which was like a little over 5 years ago. At the time, I was like trying to professionally get into my comics or get ready to, and I was creating a whole bunch of characters, archetypes, stuff like that. And Zener kind of started out as a challenge to figure out if there's a way I could combine Superman with Batman. And admittedly at the time, all I could really do was try to give Batman Superman's powers, and I could never get that to work. And no matter how much I tried, it just wasn't there. So I put the idea back on the shelf. I kept coming back to it, trying to figure out how to make it work. And eventually, once I graduated college, like actually right after, I had this idea for a character who was essentially a psychic supreme. He had like all the psychic powers, not just telepathy and telekinesis, but mediumship, dowsing, aura reading, illusion casting. A lot of things, a lot of the ones that are overlooked. He would have all of them, making him one of the most powerful people on the planet. And I thought, okay, I have this character that I couldn't work before. Maybe I can try doing some of this. So I reworked it and retooled it a bit. And with my editor, we started talking things out, making progress, and eventually it came to us. The way to do this character that I originally wanted was not to give Batman Superman's powers. You have to give Superman Batman's problems. You take a very morally do-goody Boy Scoutish type character, but you have him deal with all this very dark atmosphere that Batman would, and you see how it takes like a toll on someone as powerful as him, and while he's trying to do good. And that's kind of where Zener evolved from. That's kind of where it got from. We've been rolling with that ever since, and the results speak for himself. We got this far, so that's why we're super excited to like tell a character like this, because it's like it takes a classic superhero archetype that people love, but subvert it and invert it in a way that it's never been done before, and I think that's what people really want to see.
Awesome. So, is this character inspired by any one person, or was this a complete blank slate, or is this a passion project for you, something that you wanted to do for a while and you're trying to bring to the masses?
Well, I guess you could say it has a little bit of all three in it. Basically, this is an original character that wasn't necessarily inspired by one living character. I guess a bunch of others. Like when I was creating Zener, we were looking at a bunch of different ways we could do them, like taking elements from one thing, which is how we do it. How a lot of creators do it. They take elements they like from one thing and put it into their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Zener kind of evolved from there. I guess in a way, I don't want to say he's like based around me, but he's kind of in a relationship to me, in a sense that I've suffered with depression and anxiety before, so I put a little bit of myself into him to make him a better character. I feel that's like one of the things that really makes Zener such a relatable character this day and age, because like especially now, everyone has this like dealing with depression or anxiety, so I feel like when they see Zener, they'll be able to say, I can relate to this guy. I just want to root for him. I want him to be the best that he can be. So, and really, Zener is actually a bit more than a passion project. He's one of the 3 heroes that we plan to expand our universe through and like professionally make into a big comic industry. Because NRG Comics, which is our company, it was founded by fans for fans, and our goal is to create the next big superhero universe. We love superheroes so much. I especially do. I was introduced to them at a very young age with Batman the Animated Series and Power Rangers, and from a young age, I knew I wanted to create comics for them. So Zener is one of the main 3 characters who's essentially going to be part of our super team, and through those 4 title series, we're going to expand our universe and introduce a whole bunch of other characters, and really just really create a universe that people will love.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what is your origin story, man? How did you get into this whole thing?
Well, it's kind of like like I said, when I was a kid, I wasn't much into sports. I liked watching television. I was introduced to superheroes at a young age through. I'm a '90s kid, so I grew up with Batman, the Bruce Timm, the animated series, all those superhero DC universes. And then there were Power Rangers, and I just always had a love for them. And I started going to go into my local comic shop to pick up just some comics based on the shows I read, like Teen Titans. I was a big fan of like the Teen Titans Go, based on the animated series. And then I guess I really got into comics more when it was actually on my 16th birthday. I was in the school library looking up something to read during study hall, and I came across Marvel's Runaways. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just so taken with the story that I had to read more. So I went to my local comic shop and I started buying all the issues and all the graphic novels. And eventually, when I ran out of that, I started um, browsing the other series, like a lot of Jeff Johns Green Lantern stuff, and I read Flashpoint, the New 52, Spider-Man. I really got into Invincibles, those type of
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
Um,
Invincible.
yeah, I'm very excited for the new series. I can't wait to check it out. It's like this has been a long time coming for a lot of fans.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I guess I professionally I've been working on my comics for the last 5 years since 2017. I first introduced our our universe with a character known as Empress, who was an evil industrialist who, after a chance encounter with Mother Nature, gets a second chance at life by being her herald and just fighting the good fight, becoming one of the first superheroes in our universe. And she's actually going to get a little slight revamp after Zener's uh, uh, debuted in our comics. But basically with NRG, that's our company. It's founded on our love of superheroes. We want to create a whole bunch of new ideas based on like classic tropes, but inverted and subverted in a way that it's never been done before. And in NRG, it's founded by fans and it's for fans because we as comic fans ourselves, we've we've loved comics, and more importantly, we've listened to comic fans and what they want in comics, what they're not happy about the mainstream stuff, or even some of the more indie stuff. What they want in terms of buying a comic or the comic itself. And really, our goal more than anything is to give them what they've always wanted through our comics. So, like affordable comics, they can just enjoy. Like the story, the whole thing is based more focused on story and character development as opposed to just a bunch of what's going on. It's storytelling done right.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's always been our biggest goal. Like to focus more on the story and the development and less about the big blow up of the mainstream stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well that's real interesting. So, what's some of the stuff that people have asked that they wanted to see in indie comics? So that's the first time I've heard someone say that they were taking that in consideration or having conversations about that type of stuff. What's some of the stuff that you heard about that you wanted to make sure was in your book?
Well, like I said, this kind of goes with like what we've listened to based around the mainstream stuff, and a lot of it is like focusing more on the character itself. Not trying to define them based on like certain like things who they are, like race or gender or sexuality. It's more like just focusing on the hero's journey, like what they go through as they turn like from be a character, or a superhero or a villain, how it progresses, how they evolve. A lot of things. One of the things we have planned is an actual timeline. So, with our universe, what we do is like we have a lot of stories planned for our heroes, but we do have an ending somewhat in mind. So once we get through telling those, they will like move on to new characters to tell with new stories, and like our universe will evolve in that way. So it's not going to be the same heroes doing this over and over again for like 70 years and never aging and just being revamped and rebooted all this time. No, there's going to be continuation. Like you'll have the classic characters, but then like eventually we'll move on to new characters, and our universe will evolve with like new threats, new ideas, new explorations, kind of a reflection of the world.
So how do you work all that out? Is that plotted out, or is that loosely plotted out, or are you approaching that as you come upon it?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, some stuff we have planned out. I mean, we have a general idea of like where we want to take most of our characters, how we want to introduce some of the other ones. Mostly, what we're trying to do is like we realize since we can't necessarily like plan for everything that might not happen the way we wanted to, we're just trying to go with the flow. But we're keeping our goals in mind as we write, and what we want to do with our comics and give our fans, and that helps a lot in the process. So like when we're writing down, we know what we basically have a good understanding of like the first few stories we want to tell, and then as we write, more stories just come to mind, and we also have planned the bigger epic story arcs that kind of change the characters. Like that influence it. We know like when those are going to happen or like how those are going to happen, and we keep those in mind when we're writing, and we have those plotted out, and as we go, we're filling in the gaps as we go. So just having fun with it. Oh yeah, this is turning out great.
Oh, thank you. Andy says, when he goes to the movies, does he have to go to the very first showing because of people knowing how it ends and ruins it for him when he hears their thoughts? Oh, that's a great question, Andy.
I like that. I like that very much. That honestly would be that's actually something I could see Zener doing. I think one of the biggest things is because Zener struggles with his mind and also his powers. He might have to be careful about seeing the movie again. So people who might not see it, he might accidentally project onto them the ending in their mind, and he'll essentially be the ultimate spoiler for them. So yeah, he probably waits, and so I'm guessing Zener would probably just wait till it comes out on streaming so he can watch it alone or something. So that way he doesn't have to necessarily spoil it for anyone or be spoiled himself.
So that is a different answer. So his constitution has to be pretty strong not to accidentally come across or invade anybody's heads to get that ending.
Yeah. Like that's like I said, the biggest thing about Zener, because the thing with Zener is like all psychic powers, when you think about it, you need a strong mind to work those powers to your best advantage. But Zener's mind is very broken, and he struggles with that, and it can have consequences on while he's trying to do good in his city, and that's one of the things we plan to explore is like how you take this fragile mind that require and like a powerful mind to use his powers. I mean, what happens if you don't have that? What if you're full on like Jean Grey or Batman, and you're so crazy that you just can't do the best things you can.
So, so is that a constant thing that he has to deal with ongoing?
Yeah, that is, in a lot of ways that is, because this is again where the related part of it comes in, because like anxiety and depression and all that, it's a constant battle. It's not like a win and done kind of thing. It's something you're gonna be stuck with for the rest of your life, and the best thing you can do is just work through it and take it one day at a time. And that's how Zener tries to approach his superheroing and his normal life at the same time.
So is that the message of this? Taking it one day at a time, learning how to cope?
That's one of the messages, of course. A lot of it is it's also, like I said, it's also a classic superhero story. So there's like a lot of adventure to it. That's like a key part, and it's just a story that I think people will want to read because they're like all the classic elements of a superhero story in it, with some modern issues and problems people can relate to. But really, when you get right down to it, it's all about telling a good story.
Mm-hmm. All right. So J-Man says that's a different aspect on creating a future of a universe, which is very unique but different, or unique, different. But what if some fans want some of your characters to return? Would you be open to bring certain characters back?
That we've considered that, and we know some people like that. And the biggest issue we would struggle with there is how to do it in a way that would make sense. I mean, we don't want to just be like some magic. Oh, we rewrote timeline and now everyone's back, or we use a magic spell to bring people back. Like I said, we want there to be a timeline to this. So if there's if our characters are brought back, it won't be permanently. It'll just be like for a one and done kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like I said, a lot of fans we know, like they have the characters they love, they would love brought back, or some that they don't want brought back. But really, when it comes right down to it, sometimes the best thing you can do is create new characters to explore those ideas. Because, I mean, you can't tell everything with one single character. I mean, or like you probably could, but it'd be difficult.
Yeah.
especially if you want to keep a realistic tone about it.
Mm-hmm. So what's a story that ruined that for you? That made you really say, "Man, that's not how I want to make comics when I get in there."
Well, I guess it could be a few different stories. I think a lot of the ones I want to. I think when I look at it, I think Marvel Comics kind of plays into play here, especially like the classic One More Day story with Spider-Man. Where they just retcon his whole marriage, and it's like a lot of his like modern life never happened.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of issues with that, but really, it's just feel like in the '90s we had Spider Girl, where Peter's daughter took over the mantle of Spider Woman, and you saw her own journey, and it was like I wanted to see that brought into the canon comics. I wanted to see Peter actually have his daughter Mayday Parker, and I wanted her to be brought into the canon comics without it being like an alternate universe thing. But they just recant that. It's like no, that's not fair. I mean, we had this cool character we introduced to in another setting, and I want it brought back into this one. So why you're just changing all this? And it's like no, I'm sorry, I do not like that, and I'm not going to do that.
So when it comes to stuff like that, can you as a fan and as a current creator, a business person now who creates comic books, do you see the perspective of where they come from with that, or do you think there's room for both to work?
I mean, I can as time went on, I kind of saw the perspective of that. Yeah, I know a lot of the reason a lot of like these big names keep using the characters to do is because they're the most popular. They're the ones that everyone wants to read about, and if you're trying to introduce something new, it might not always stick. But at the same time, like it's like you can't do everything with these popular characters. Eventually you're gonna run into some issues where you're gonna run into stories that you try to do that's gonna question the whole canon of the timeline or the character story, and you're gonna be changing everything that ultimately is not. It's just not gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I can understand like the concept of wanting to bring back, characters that you felt like didn't really get their dues, or just as they were about to, they were killed off. Or so when you look at it from a perspective as well as a fan and creator, you take both sides into consideration, and you really got to ultimately decide what would be the best thing for your character and ultimately your universe.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Let's see. Andy Saggy Corey says, "What happens if he, in the heat of the moment, thinks I wish I could just give myself a mental lobotomy and not have to deal with these powers? Would he accidentally lobotomize himself since he's just thought it? Would he accidentally turn others around him into mental mush? If he intended for it to happen, would he now be the equivalent of a pickle? I'm really hungry right now." Let's see. That's something I never considered before. I think with like getting himself a lobotomy, I think the problem there is like Zener would like need to know. I mean, he's a very powerful telepath and telekinetic, but I think ultimately he would need to know the right anatomy of the brain for that to work. And I guess that is something we could explore, but I think it really depends on like what he's trying to do. Like his mind is so broken that he could accidentally do something that he didn't mean to, that he didn't want to, and like he's got to fix it. He's got to figure out a way to fix it. He's treading water, so to speak, and he's basically treading a minefield. Honestly, that's what his powers are like.
Okay, so that's cool. So while, albeit he has great power, if he doesn't have the knowledge to take advantage of that power, then he can't use it.
Yeah, and that's and like I said, like the origin is kind of exploring as he goes. So like his hero's journey is just starting out, so he's still learning as he goes, and eventually he could become the most powerful. He is the most powerful, but he will truly become the most powerful being in our universe. But like I said, like since we're getting off the ground, a lot of this is as we go. So
Okay. Steve says if people really like a character or characters that have died in canon timeline, you could always make a new comic from the lost tales of. So you could tell different stories, but not have it change what really happened.
That's true. That's true. There is like a lot. There's a lot you could do that. Like Marvel does that with their what if stories, and I know DC was doing that um with their dark multiverse. Part of me feels that like it's not the same thing though. You know, I mean it's not. I mean it's more of a wishful thinking kind of thing. Because I mean it's not substitute for the real thing you want to hear. You know what I mean? Like because like I read some of those what ifs and those Marvel storylines and like Marvel what if stories. Like when you read them, it's like, oh wow, I kind of wish it went this way. Unfortunately, you know, it can't really be done that way in the canon. You know, it's still just a what if scenario.
So you don't think that hold up, where am I? Oh, wrong one. Okay, we go. So you don't think that there's been added stories where they have added and they've just said these were adventures that happened before the character passed away?
Oh,
That those haven't worked?
well, no, like those technically when they're before, if they're happening before the character passes away, you can get away with those because it's telling like some unknown adventures that hadn't really happened before because you didn't know happened before because like this is exploring like more into their further. I'm not. Am I putting this right? So I guess what we're saying like you can always add on to the character's history so long as it doesn't mess with the canon timeline too much. You know.
Okay.
So I feel like you can do that. But I think you also have to keep in mind like the stories that you have already told in that scenario. You know,
Hmm.
I think a good example of this would be like the Three Joker storyline that DC just came out with. So they added like this. I don't want to spoil for anyone for anything, but they kind of like
Hold
did
on.
some.
Hold on. All right. So he's about to say something because I want to hear it, and I don't care about the spoilers for me. So he will be talking about this for the next 20 seconds. In three, two, one. Spoiler warning. Go ahead.
So basically, in the Three Joker storyline, it turns out that Joker's wife is in fact alive, but Batman helped get her out of the city because she was worried that her husband, the Joker, would turn out to be an abusive person just like his father. So
Hmm.
they really mess with the classic killing joke story right there. So it's like, and now once you have that, it's like, does it really feel the same? You know?
Mm. All right. I didn't know that was I didn't know that was a thing. So that has my interest peaked. I know I do want to read the Three Jokers storyline though.
Yeah, and of course, I might not. I mean, I might. It's been a while, so I might be getting it wrong. But I mean, it's. I think if you're like you're a fan of the Joker and Batman, you should still check it out and get and put your own thoughts on it.
Let's see here. Oh shoot. All right. Andy says, "Ha ha, minefield, perfect story arc title." Steve says, "I'm thinking more of a previously untold stories that are canon, but not of what if." Yeah, so we clarified that, Steve. That's
Yeah,
why I was
apologies,
curious
Steve.
about myself. Brad says, "I've seen this character. It seems for a long time. Glad to see this campaign going. Interested in checking it out." And Brad's a big comic book fan,
Thanks, Brad.
immensely.
Glad you've been following us for a while. That makes me happy to hear. Yeah, this is really turning out well. This is really. I'm impressed.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah. Let's see.
I think I can merge these all down now and drop some blocks down there. There we go.
Yeah, and designing Zener took a little took a few trial and errors on our part. You know, we tried a bunch of different things, but one thing people ask us about is the color scheme. You know, the purple color scheme. And just with that, you know, I always knew that I wanted his main color scheme to be purple because to me, purple has long been associated with the psychic powers. Like if you see X-Men comics or like an anime, you know, you see like their telepath or the telekinesis being activated, and there's always a purple energy surrounding it. And admittedly, also like the Pokemon card game played into that. You know, they have like all the psychic and ghost types. You know, the purple cards. It's like, um, Oh yeah, I knew like with his color scheme, I know the base of the color was going to be purple.
Hmm.
I feel like it when you balance that with the red and not the red, but the black and the white, it really all comes together.
Yeah, color schemes. Like I'm working on a character with characters with uh my friend Moana, and the colors we got lost on colors.
Yeah.
I have like 14 variations of the costume with different colors, and like they're thank you, Danny. Yeah, somebody said purple, and then all of a sudden you come in here. That's a coincidence. Um, and like they're not even full color swaps. They're like little tweaks on the accents with different accent colors, just because like one tweak like that really changes the whole skew and view of the costume.
Right. Um, yeah. It's funny. Like I remember sometimes when I look up, designing my characters, like what color I want to be. I try to keep it a variety, but like I also remember looking up like color scheme elements, like symbolism for these colors. And there was this article I found, about what these colors and comics represent. Like purple and green and color and orange. You are usually associated with like evil supervillains, and red and then white and red, blue, and yellow are like a lot of superheroes. And then there's also the elements of how blue relates to like calm effects or water abilities, or like red with fire. It was an interesting article to read. It helps out. It really helped out with some of my characters. But then, like eventually, and then once in a while, you just got to give him a crazy color scheme because it's just like it goes with this character. You like see this character is so out there that you can see this being his color scheme.
Hmm. Yeah, sometimes you just have to do it. Sometimes you
Yeah,
just got to get loose with it.
yeah.
Campbell says Ultimate Warrior becomes a villain. Get back here. Great time on this. Yeah, because of secondary colors, not primary colors. Yes, exactly, Andy. We're actually going to work on one of those characters live on the show here in a couple weeks. So I'm going to be excited to show everybody what we've been working on.
Yeah. Let's see. And one of the things we're excited to like do with Zener, is like depict on like how exactly he operates as a superhero. Like a lot of superheroes, some people think it's like a fight them and send them off to jail kind of thing. But with Zener, he's a psychiatrist by trade, and he tries to help his villains because they have a lot of deep psychological issues like he does, and he knows where they're coming from, and he wants to help them become citizens of society again. He's a healer more than he is a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something where a lot of it. I mean, of course, in some of his rogues, there are some that he doesn't want to help because he knows they're beyond help, like they're actual, monsters of people. But a lot of them, he's like, okay, these how they got this way is not their fault. These people need to be helped. So he tries to help them the best he can, and it's an ongoing struggle with them just as much as it is his own mental issues.
Well, that's dope. I like that. That's a well, not that I haven't liked anything you said before, but I think that's a nice twist. That's something I haven't heard of
Yeah.
with a lot of different comics.
Yeah, it's like a lot. It's like the comics we grow up in. A lot of what it is a lot of black and white. Good versus evil kind of thing. But like really, it's like you rarely see the superheroes like acting as good people aside from crime fighting. And a scene that comes to mind is a scene in like Kick-Ass 2, um, where Jim Carrey as the Colonel Sergeant Stripes has his team going to a homeless shelter and just helping out all the people who are struggling there. And I felt like that is like a great thing to do out for a superhero outside of crime fighting. Like giving back to the community. Because like superheroes, I have often been told by my manager, are supposed to be the best of us. They're supposed to be what we strive to be. They're not supposed to be like. A lot of people want. They should be flawed humans like us, but they're like it's like, they're supposed to be the pinnacle of what we want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, and that's like something we try to do with our comic. Well, we want to do with our comics too. Yeah.
Yeah. Makes the character relatable for sure.
It is.
Why did that happen? So, are we saying that this is going to be a ongoing series or a limited series?
No, it's going to be an ongoing series. We don't have exactly an exact end in mind, but we do tend to plan to take it very far. Yeah. So like, my editor Webb is the one writing this story because he's got the writing style that I needed for this character. I mean, I did create the character, but I needed him to write the story because he had, like I said, he had that writing style. And Webb, he's a great guy. He's influenced by a lot of animes, specifically Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho. So his thing is that he's able to create these long, ongoing story arcs with minor points in them, and that's kind of what we're trying to do with Zener.
That's awesome because those are some good anime.
They are. And I grew up with like Yu Yu Hakusho specifically. Like there's a lot of the early episodes, like especially like when the big four, like those guys are fighting, or each take on their own demon or something. It's like those are episodes I remember the most. And you find a lot of cool things in anime that you don't find in the mainstream stuff.
Oh yeah, like I said, and I was super excited about today's episode or the latest issue of My Hero Academia, and that's because My Hero Academia is like it's like. And don't get me wrong, there are mainstream books that I still read now and today that are good, and I'm a huge indie fan, so I'm reading a ton of indie books. But for my mainstream fix is just My Hero Academia is life. Like it just makes me feel like I'm in the sixth grade all over again, and reading comics for the first time. They're just so good at it. Like those epic hero speeches, those big moments, the villain versus the villain versus the hero, the determination. It's like it's all a throwback to all that stuff that got you into it as a kid, but it's still relevant and good.
It is. That's what I like about it too. Let's see. If it's not a spoiler, can you tell us the meaning behind the name Zener? So Gerald asked the name behind the show. So yeah, Zener is his name. We struggled with his name for a while, but his name actually comes from a test that a lot of pseudoscientists use to test for telepathy or telekinesis or ESP, known as the Zener cards. And these are cards that have like little shapes on them, like stars or lines or circles or squares. They hold it up, and someone tries to guess the shape on the card, and so it's called the Zener test. And you might remember this from the opening scene of Ghostbusters 1, where Bill Murray's testing on those two college students, and he's messing with that one kid who's actually getting it right. And so like when we found this test, and we knew since it related back to his psychic abilities, and it just had this cool ring that really made him stand out as a hero, like Zener. It was simple. It says it connected to his powers. We knew that was the name we had to go with.
That's cool, man. I love that Ghostbusters throw in.
Yeah. I love Ghostbusters. It's a great series. And there are days I miss Egon.
I dig that, man. I dig that absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. You've probably seen a lot of these like psychic tests done in a lot of things that you've watched growing up. Like I know there was like a scene of this in Pokemon with the Sabrina gym leader episode. But you see this happening, but they're never like referred to as what they're called. Like you see you see these things happening, but you never like hear the actual name for them, which I feel is a shame because I feel like a lot of people knew more about it. Like they could do a lot more stuff with it.
Your boy, what's up, man? How you doing? We're talking about this comic book character Zener, with Alex today.
What's up, your boy?
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Brad says that's pretty neat. I didn't know that. And Andy says Venkman and his electroshock therapy to induce psychic abilities. Venkman was out of control, man. I loved it.
It was like Bill Murray's finest, you know.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Bill Murray's had a lot of great roles over the years, and he's an awesome actor. But I feel like Ghostbusters was definitely one of his more defining ones.
Yeah, he has had some great roles, but honestly, the most memorable roles for me were Ghostbusters, Groundhog Day, and Zombieland.
Now, for me, it's Ghostbusters. Let's see, Ghostbusters, Caddyshack, and the one I remember the most from is Osmosis Jones because I grew up watching that movie all the
Oh
time.
yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. What's up, Chris? Man, thanks for tuning in.
Hey, Chris. Hey, Steve. Welcome to the show. Yeah, this is turning out really great.
Thank you. Trying to get my posing down so I can get the drawings done quicker.
Yeah, I just recently learned that Bill Murray was actually played Jacques Cousteau in a movie. I was surprised to hear that. That's not one I know he's like. That's not. I guess compared to his comedy ones, that one's not as well known. But yeah, that it should be. You know, that was a great. I think he did great in that. So. One movie I actually really liked him in is Scrooged. You know, like that.
Oh yeah.
I am a sucker for the Christmas Carol. That's one of my favorite Christmas stories, and it's just any way they can do it. I love seeing that. So to see Bill Murray play a Scrooge character is awesome.
Oh well, dude, you know what? You're right. There are a ton of Bill Murray's roles. I forgot all about Scrooge.
Yeah. One of the things one of my favorites is Stripes. You know, where he was cast alongside Egon's actor again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a funny army movie, and like my favorite scene is always like when they're first marching and like they're like it's like left, right, right, and then like Egon's actor is like starts singing "Do What Diddy," and then all the army guys start singing too as they're marching along. It's you can only find that in a Bill Murray movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, he's got classics.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I feel like Bill Murray has not aged well, though. You know, he's getting up there, and I feel like in comparison to a lot of his co-actors, you know, I feel like he did not age well.
Oh yeah. Well, then you have that. Bill Murray's one of these. He's one of these older actors. Before I think all that working out trend and really taking care of yourself really hit a bunch of actors.
Yeah,
because we got a bunch of that now where all these actors are taking care of themselves, and if you have their time and their money, things will be easier to do that type of thing.
Yeah, especially since a lot of these roles they're in like now require them to actually get in shape. You know.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like look at Chris Pratt, how he went from the guy on Parks and Rec to cut Star-Lord.
Yeah, man, that transformation, that was impressive.
Yeah.
And then like your boy, although I'm not a big fan of him, but I can respect his craft and his dedication to it. What was his name? He did Batman.
Oh, let's see.
American Psycho.
Michael Keaton?
Not Michael Keaton. The
Christian
one
Bale?
Christian Bale. They had the messed up voice. That man will put on weight, lose weight in a heartbeat. Like he is truly dedicated to his roles.
Yeah, well, you want to talk about someone who did extreme dieting for the roles, like Kevin Bacon, like this movie. He did this strict diet where he like barely like anything. Like he had like a green bean for lunch and like he drank water for dinner. And it was messed up.
A green bean for lunch?
Yeah, something like that. He barely ate at all. You know, like he just did it like this willpower kind of thing. It's like It's messed up is what it is. Oh, that glowing effect is awesome. I like that. That is a nice touch. I really like that. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, no problem, man. So we're gonna go ahead and hit the replay on that. All right, everybody. So we've got the Indiegogo link popping up right here for you. Please make sure to check that out. That is happening right now on Indiegogo. Pledge, share, give $1, give as much as you can. It'd be very much so appreciated, as we have just brought this character to life on the sponsored Victor Dandridge You Create comic book paper. You can bring it to life through Indiegogo as we do our classic replay of the illustration. This is yours. You'll be able to do whatever you want with that, Alex.
Thank you. This will make great promotional artwork. Thank you.
No problem at all. All right, so Alex, go ahead and walk us out, man, and give us one last pitch on why we should be pledged to your Kickstarter for this.
Well, Zener is an awesome comic that has everything you want in a mainstream comic, but for indie that you actually want now. It's a story of a upbeat, moral, psychic Superman character who deals with a lot of mentally straining, Batman-related dark problems. You see how this affects him and his superhero work and his real life. And so funding on Indiegogo right now is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get this series and help explore it in our universe. So you can find it on Indiegogo, and you can find us, NRG Comics, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and DeviantArt, and our own website, nrg-comics.com.
Awesome. Yes, that character is Zener. And I'll be emailing you this. Thank you, Steve, man. I appreciate it. Let's be sure. So tomorrow night, we got another guest in the building. Wednesday, I got another one lined up as well. Wednesday, Thursday, I don't have anybody lined up, so I'm probably gonna do some gaming on Thursday, and then of course we'll have another episode of the Agents of the Nerdy. So please, tune in. If you like what you saw, if you like the show, give us a follow, give us a like, give us some comments, give us a share. It's very much so appreciated. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Cameron. Thank you, Steve. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Tomorrow there'll be another great episode, or rather an epic episode of Chat and Draw. Catch you guys later.
I think that I should ask Mr. Watson. I think that I should ask Mr. Watson. I think that I should ask Mr. Watson. I think that I should ask Mr. Watson.